All right, welcome to the Cosmic Alchemy podcast. Today we're filming podcast 4. I can't believe we're already here. I'm
Yes.
your co-host, Steve Porto. I'm joined today by my co-host, Drew Renee. Hey, Drew.
Hey, what's going on, Stephen?
Not much. I'm excited for today.
Great.
We are welcoming back Erika Furuzono, who was in our second episode. If you guys haven't checked it out, go back there first. It's a great starter episode to where we're going to lead to today. But welcome, Erika.
Yes, welcome.
Hi,
How are
How are
you?
you?
thank you so much for inviting me again. I'm
No
glad to be
problem.
here.
The first time you were on, there was such like a wealth of knowledge. I was like so bombarded by everything that you were telling us that we felt the need to kind of ask you back to do a proper quick reading of and asking a couple of questions that sort of make people understand and realize what an Akashic reading really is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Akashic Record is tap into the fact. Akashic Record is tap into the fact of the history on Earth
Yeah.
history. And we are on Earth, so when we ask the question about individual as who we are, we can tap into each record as well.
Right. And I think a lot of times, like, people hear about these different modalities, like an Akashic reading, and they can read about it, but you don't really know what it is until you actually experience it. So I thought it'd be really, really awesome to showcase your talent and abilities and what someone can get out of an Akashic reading, because I think it's so helpful and it's so objective as well, which is nice.
Yeah, it's a good idea to tap into the record because it's based on the facts, and many of us do have each timelines. We may or may not share collective timelines, but each of us do have our own timelines of who we are today.
Yes.
So when we are seeking for some kind of clarity on anything, relationship, could be a life purpose, or what you should be doing right now, or whatever. It'd be nice to tap into this knowledge so you can see your soul contract and be clear about it instead of wasting your time to wondering like, okay, what should I do?
Right.
Really
Which is
cool.
awesome. Yeah. And so, like Stephen was saying, we're going to be asking some questions, and some of them will be personal, and then some will be for the collective. So, do you want to get it kicked off, Stephen?
Yeah. Okay, so we'll kick things off. I'm going to go more down the personal route because I have never had an Akashic reading. I don't really know what to expect. So I'm gonna go in a little bit on my own. I know Drew, you've had a session before, so this is not your first rodeo.
Right. So that's why
Um,
you go first and you give
yeah,
the, the experience.
cool. So I think the first thing I'd ask. Oh,
First, I want you to start imagining the pillar of the light,
okay.
which will be 18 inches above your head, falling onto you and going through all of the body. And when you're connected, I'll do the same, and then we'll be connected. Then I can see your breath. And then when I say book is open, you may start asking the question.
Sure.
I'm connected whenever you're ready.
Cool. I guess I would ask, what is my soul's purpose in this timeline right now?
You are doing exactly you have assigned to, well, we should say your soul has decided to, which is to serve humanity, to assist this ascension, raising consciousness of humanity. You have chosen to assist your soul work through BQH, which is quite suitable for your evolution as a soul. Because as a soul, you are more of freedom seeker, and you're not quite comfortable when people are putting in putting you in the box. So you like to create and cultivate your own way to find your path, and you like to assist the people in that way as well. So this BQH is quite suitable for you. So your question is your soul path?
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, you're exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
And do you have any more specific question?
So BQH is something that I'm considering on a full-time basis. Um, will there be a lot of will there be good success around that? And you mentioned that that's a good route for me, but I'm not always convinced.
It is good route for you, but you can keep your eyes open to some other modalities that your heart get excited to, because BQH you can combine with anything and everything. So
Yeah.
you don't have to do just BQH, you see.
Yeah.
You can combine BQH with something.
Yeah. And something that you mentioned is that I am kind of a freedom seeker, and that is the truth. Anything that I do in life, I have to feel free and not boxed in. Um, I guess what are some of the ways that I can continue living that way?
First, it is really important for you to truly love yourself and share that love to others. But part of loving yourself is not apologizing being who you are. So if or when you encounter someone who doesn't accept you the way of how you live or how you think, do not feel blessed or somehow you are not adequate, or don't feel bad about yourself, because that's that person's issue.
Right.
So be brave and don't apologize anyone to being who you are.
Okay. That's probably some advice I need to take on. So thank you. My second question is revolved around relationships. I haven't attracted, I guess you could say, twin flame, a soulmate, or anything like that. And I wanted to know what that looked like for me, and what this person looks like, or what that journey looks like.
You do have a contract with a soulmate. Soulmate is not twin flame, but soulmate is someone that you did share a lifetime, another galactic life. When you see this lady, you did share the life in Sirius.
Okay.
You and her worked on the project a couple of times and did have amazing friendship. And you know how each other operate. So she did have a very similar life mission at this lifetime as you. So you have decided to be a team and raise consciousness of the humanity together. So that is your soul contract with her. She is already on her spiritual path. She's not doing exactly the same modality as you are, but while you are going through your life purpose, your mission, your path and her path will intertwine with each other and you will meet. And then you meet, you know, because you feel familiar. You feel sense of comfort. You do have attraction because her physical appearance is your type. But more than anything, you do feel extremely comfortable being with her. And you will develop your friendship with her in the beginning, but it will proceed into relationship. We would say life partnership.
Cool. Very great to hear. And not anything that's too surprising. Cool. So that's kind of the two questions I had. I'm going to pass it on to Drew, I guess. So Drew, go for it.
Okay.
Thank you, Erika, by the way.
A pleasure. So we do need to connect with Pillar of the Light again, Drew. So that will open up your Akashic record. And we can read through your book. So let us know when you are ready.
Okay. I'm ready to connect. Can I start asking questions?
Your book is open whenever you're ready. We can start.
Okay. Can you tell me about my...
Can you speak up?
Yeah, sorry. I want to know more. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Its sound is very low.
Is it okay? Let me try to take off my headphones. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me about like who I am on Andromeda and like my history there?
Okay. 1 second. Contact me galactic. Okay. Currently, we see this information of 70 Andromeda, which is a semi-physical realm. Light portent of semi-physical body is more of, we would say, 80% non-physical and 20% physical. So with that combination, you can still have or manage to have physical body. In Andromeda, 70 Andromeda, these beings are of course, assisting the raising of consciousness, not only Earth, but other planets as well. So you, at that time, in 17 Andromeda, easiest human charm we could explain to you as your role was you were priestess.
Priestess.
So there was a temple in Andromeda where they can manage and control what kind of frequency, which frequency, how much frequency will send to other places. So the priestesses, they are in the role of deciding the quality and the frequency and amount, how much you will send to each particular planet. And you are in charge of the duty.
Interesting. And I guess do I still have like soul family in Andromeda?
Yes, because in 70 life, you do still have a family, which is not the Earth family, of course, which is a fraction of your galactic life you had. These soul family in Andromeda, some of them decided to incarnate with you into other galactic life as well. But once your soul tie is formed, it will not go anywhere. You're always connected to your soul family, so they don't necessarily have to incarnate with you. So only an individual who decided to, in a way, incarnate or being together with you is Khan. At this lifetime, you have decided to not physically incarnate into Earth together as a life form because he could help you better as non-physical. But in Andromeda, in that particular life, we are seeing he did have a more of the role of your teacher, your fatherly role.
Yeah, that resonates a lot. That's the feeling that I get from him.
Because at that lifetime, it was more important for you to experience your soul growth as a star being. So you had to master how much frequency you send out, what quality to which planet, because you can screw up this. And that was the most important mission you need to succeed. So at that lifetime, he wasn't taking the role as your lover because that part of the relationship wasn't the most important. Because that will sort of block you or distract you from what you need to learn. So in that lifetime, he was taking over the role of your father, your teacher figure. That someone you go up to him and ask whatever the stuff which wasn't clear of, and he'll exactly assist you and tell you what you can do. Like your your wise teacher, your counsel.
Okay.
That was his role.
Okay. And can you explain to me, this happened like weeks ago, where I woke up from a dream or an experience, but it felt really real. And I saw like this huge spider being above me, and it seemed like, I mean, it was real. And I'm not sure what happened, and it really freaked me out. But I'm wondering, what does that have anything to do with like ETs or being aboard a ship or something, or encountering other beings?
It was energetic intrusion, but you don't really have to concerned about that, because you do have a lot of, we would say, protections from your team. So you just saw the embodiment of certain lower frequency energies that formed this spider, but it couldn't do anything to you.
Okay.
So were you scared when you saw it?
Yeah, because it seemed large, and I like jumped out of bed. I was like, because I've had that same instance with like snakes as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are embodiment, and in a way, you are testing yourself that by the degree of how much you do or you don't freak out, how much frequency you have raised on your own. Does it make sense?
Yes.
When some lower frequency being or embodiment of energies appear in front of you, and then when you have high enough frequency, you're just looking at that as if you're looking at the movie. You don't quite emotionally register. You can recognize it, but you don't feel for it.
Gotcha.
So
I guess
your team is letting that appear in front of you as a test to see, not the test like if you failed or you haven't, you passed, not that kind of test, but use as a measuring stick to see the level of your vibration, how you would react.
Okay.
According to where you are at in the vibrational level right now.
Gotcha.
Because more and more your vibration goes up, it doesn't, eventually you're not going to see it anymore, because it's very difficult to connect yourself into that lower frequency. Right now, they are kind of, I'm talking about your team, letting you to see it.
Okay. Yeah, and I can definitely tell in the past, like when it happened like years ago, I got way freaked out and couldn't go back to sleep. But this time it felt, I was still scared, but I could go back to sleep and be okay.
Yeah, you don't really have to worry about it.
Okay.
Because you do have a very strong team around you. And this is more of an exercise, how you are managing fear when you encounter it unexpectedly. How you can deal with it.
Gotcha.
So in a way, it's a part of the lesson and measuring stick.
That's good to know.
It makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And so I guess I'd love to open this up Could you, could we ask a question about me and Stephen?
Who?
Me and Stephen?
Mm-hmm.
Could I ask something about our show?
Yes.
I guess, what do you see for the future of cosmic alchemy?
We do see a lot of interaction with guests, and it will co-create a lot of interesting trigger or triggers for the listeners who are listening to the show, which is a part of the reason why you have created this show. It is very important for you to do marketing of your show to spread around. So it is important for you to learn how YouTube algorithm and SEO and other stuff. But after you have mastered how to market on your show, show will spread
That's good to
for the
know.
intention of not only you and the Stephen, but your team and beyond of. And it will do a lot of great service. Of course, you still will have fun of creating this content, but it will do tremendous amount of service to the humanity who are listening to the show. A lot of awakening souls are or will be attracted to listening to the show as well. So we would say it's very important for you to be proactive to market your content. So it will be spread and you will increase more of the people who are listening to, and that will create a domino effect.
We can do that, Stephen.
Easy peasy.
All right. And so I did have a listener question that's more for the collective. Can we open it up for like questions for the collective of humanity?
We're happy to answer for the community.
Okay. So this listener asked, what do you all have to say about multidimensional realities and alternate timelines for our current evolution? Do they all, are we able to transcend or cross over between these different paths?
We would say the reason why we are having multidimensional reality, because each of us are creating our own individual timelines, and there are other unlimited amount of timelines which each of us are not on and currently experiencing, because there are always alternate possibilities that we wouldn't choose that path. At the time of ascension, all those possibilities, or we would say all the timelines, are collapsing. It's all about frequencies. So when you create the timelines, you will create timelines with frequencies. So let's say when we have created frequencies with old stagnant lower frequency energy, and those timelines are created, we would say those timelines are collapsing right now because of collective conscious agreement of the humanity that decided to ascend, all these old timelines are diminishing and collapsing. So at a current moment, a lot of people are experiencing turmoil, or some of them are glued into news and listening to every single information and creating their timelines based on that, or listening to conspiracy theories, or it really doesn't matter if that is true or not. All these cabals and stuff people want to know. The question is, do you want to include these things into your timeline? So a lot of beings are suggesting to focus on your heart, and something makes you happy, something makes you excited, something makes you feel joy, instead of those timelines or those concepts or those curiosities. Because each of us are creators, and when we create timelines. So when we create timelines, whatever the timeline is, depends on the vibration you're vibrating at that moment. You hop one timeline to another. You don't just walk a timeline like straight line. Depends on the vibration you are having at that moment. You hop several timelines. That's how you kind of like go in and out in different timelines, because timelines are always multiple. We're not just talking about timelines on Earth. There are several timelines in the galactic histories as well, and the galactic experiences. And as long as when we have somewhat physical body, which is including semi-physical body, we do experiencing timeline. Once we become non-physical, we would say we could see it, but we don't experience it in any form. So right now we would suggest, for the betterment of Earth history, it is very important for you to tap into your own joy, own happiness, and own excitement. And when you have anything so-called negative feeling arise, do not ignore them, and feel through all feelings, experiencing it, but don't keep on holding on to it. Just feel it and get it done with. So when you do your self-work and transform yourself by doing several methods or using other modalities such as DQH, or even doing Akashic records, because you are in touch with your true soul essence when you are doing reading, which will raise your consciousness as well. When you're doing something like that, you are raising your consciousness much faster speed than we would say something you use regular moderate method like visualization or meditation. when you are using more faster method, you are in a way shifting one timeline to another, which is not similar timelines, but much different timelines, which is always good. And that's how one way to get the proof if you are shifting the timeline. The clue is always subtle. It's almost like a way to go. When someone tells you, hey, we are supposedly flying on the 24th, and then something happens, and then, okay, now it's, we can fly on 24th, something happened, and we have to do it on the 27th. You will accept that information as, okay, schedule change. But the fact is, it's you have shifted to other timeline. That's a little example we can give you if you want to know if you're constantly shifting timeline after, you know, especially when you have worked on yourself in huge manner and looking for some kind of evidence. Or when you remember a particular memory with certain person and you bring it up, and then that person don't remember anything at all, or tell you totally different experience. That is not, in fact, Mandela effect. It is a timeline shift. You have shifted in a huge manner. So the other person who you have spoken to is not the same person as your previous timeline. It's a different person. So for this day and time, it is very important for each one of us to be responsible and conscious about what kind of timeline you are creating. Because even Akashic record, which is always, we would say changing now, because some of the histories are edited. And the question is always, what kind of reality you would like to create? Because at this moment, even Akashic record or galactic record, nothing is written. Of course, all the version of something already written is there, but you can always rewrite. So choice is always yours. And that's what we as a gatekeeper would like to share with you.
I love that. That was so in depth and like gave way more than I expected. So that was awesome.
Really cool. And like all things we needed to hear right now, I think, as well.
For sure. And Stephen, do you have any questions about the collective or maybe like this year or just anything?
I actually want to touch on the timeline thing a little bit as well. What can we do? I've been studying a lot. I've been studying the law of attraction a lot recently. What can we do to shift into a timeline in which we manifest the things that we want in a quicker fashion, I should say? Like, because time is not a thing, but what can we do to manifest into a timeline that is ideal for us?
Ideal for humanity?
On a more personal basis. So if you wanted to manifest a car or a job with 6 figures or something, what is an effective way of shifting into that particular timeline?
Shifting to a desired timeline is more of how to change your frequency, how to change your vibration.
Okay.
So it's not about hopping left and right or proceeding to the timeline you feel like you want to go to. Because when you are keep on having a certain level of frequency, which is not the same as what your desired frequency, you'll never get there.
Right.
So when you have a desired result, the most effective way of getting it, first you have to release any of the blocks or beliefs which is preventing you to become the frequency.
Yeah.
So you do have to do a lot of digging and finding out what that is, which could be any of the past life on Earth, or could be galactic life, or could be related to your ancestral lines or anything you inherited emotionally from your parents within yourselves. So in fact, it could be anything, but those factors need to be released. And also need to work on chakras, which is also shifting into more of like a body form of a chakra now, but you still need to clarify your chakra system as well daily. And also after those are done, it is important to embody yourself with the frequency of your desired result. So you can just do the affirmation or visualization daily or constantly when your frequency itself is the same. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So all this releasing activity needs to be done before anything.
Cool.
Because when you want to shift into that timeline, you have to jump drastically from one timeline to another. And that jump is releasement and letting go of all these frequency, which is blocking you from whatever your desired result.
Great. So change your frequency, change your life.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there any last minute messages?
Any of you who are interested in having Akashic record, we are more than welcome to assist you as the gatekeeper. It will help in and also clarifying what you're wondering about and assist you to evolve, or we would say become who you really are. And that is our utmost pleasure to serve you to finding yourself as the source being and who you really are.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm closing the book.
Yeah.
We would like to thank you, the gatekeeper, the people, and loved ones, and future teams, and everyone who's involved in this session. The leg order closed now, amen. The leg order closed, amen. The leg order now closed, amen. Okay, now it's closed.
So I'm getting like this really strong pull to channel.
Why you do that?
Right, I know. So I think I'll do it because Khan is like kind of banging on my door.
I like that. I like that. The question to come. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
We on the council. We wish to speak to those of you ahead of timelines seeing this video recording of an Akashic reading. We wish to make our presence known, for we wish to provide transmissions of teachings. We wish to liberate the Andromedan energies through this particular channeling. We must be known. We must be seen if we wish to provide more beneficial frequencies to that of humanity. For there are those of us Andromedan beings incarnated in your humanity who need to be in activating frequencies, and those of other galactic beings will also be attracting and activating in these frequencies. More will be given, but we on the council wish to introduce ourselves to that of humanity through this particular YouTube video stream. That is all for now. Okay.
Oh, cool. Wow. It was
Wow.
a frequency. It was like high.
It was because it was making like I was like about to start tearing up, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like I just felt like this like love, especially when you opened up the records, and then it's just like it was just like increasing. Like say something, do it.
Super cool. I mean, like he there was that needed to be conveyed, and I was like, let's get to it.
Right. So yeah, that was Con, everybody, and that was the council. So y'all, yeah.
I mean, it's been a huge episode between Erika and the council and Drew and an impromptu little visit from Con. So
Great.
Oh, that's very awesome.
yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I've been kind of shy about.
So does he sound like that when you talk to him, or he sounds different when you talk to him telepathically?
He does sound like that.
Wow.
If I'm more relaxed, then it'll be very, very modulated, like his voice. So
Yeah.
if I'm
I've heard it more modulated, I think.
yeah. So if I'm more into it, then it'll be more modulated, and it'll definitely sound very alien, which is cool.
Hmm.
I'm just nervous. There's like a lot of nervous energy.
Ah.
Yeah.
Very cool, guys.
Great.
Erika, it was a really cool experience. I've never had an Akashic reading or anything like that before. So thank you for that. I really enjoyed the tidbit of for the collective though, like the timeline stuff. It's super important that people realize that they're choosing their realities right now. So
Yes.
Yeah, like I I've been talking to Actuarians and others about this, on I guess they are talking to me about this, and then they're telling me that it is really important to be mindful. What do you expose yourself to? Because once you started listening, that becomes part of your reality.
yep.
So in a while, I was kind of like listening to all these conspiracy theories and stuff.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I was doing it like a good solid 3 months or something, and
But
I
it's so low vibrational. It's so bad for you.
Right.
I was doing it too, and then I was like realizing that it was affecting me. So
Mhm.
I away.
yeah, it was kind of guilty pleasure in a way. But like they started asking me that, okay, you know the facts, you know, and then you know that, so you're not gonna get, you don't have to follow in the facts or what's going on. You know that, but you can put that aside. Now, what kind of reality do you want to create? Do you want to create that stuff in it or without it? And I was like, that's a good question.
So yeah, let's think about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we choose the timeline that we want to go into. You choose your reality. You choose everything, and that's, I think, the biggest message that anyone needs to hear right now is that like we're at a forking path. You choose where you go, fear
Right.
or not, or light. So, and I think that's kind of the message that was conveyed both ways from both Khan and
Yeah,
the
so
Akashic
that was
Record.
even like when we listen to other people's BQH New Earth thing, you have to have a discernment that is just, we are peeking through that person's timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that person's timeline, that that person might or might not be going through on their new earth experience. That doesn't mean all of us will.
Right.
That's why all these days, like when this what you gonna call it, solar flash is happening, it's not the same day because each of us do have our own day
Right.
with our own collectives.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
individual.
really cool stuff. Yeah, it is. It is completely individual. So
So it has to do with what resonates us, what makes us feel, what you gonna call it, more like a resonate, not about good about it, but resonate.
yeah, definitely.
For
Cool.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to wrap things up. Erika, can you tell us and our listeners where they can find you?
Oh yeah, you can contact me on YouTube as well. YouTube.com Angel Dust Productions, or you can find me on Facebook, Erika underscore Fuzono, Furuzono coach.
Awesome.
Thank
Guys,
you.
highly recommended. Thank you so much for today. Appreciate it. Drew, where can our listeners find you?
Yes, you can find me at Drew Renee underscore BQH on Instagram. And you can also reach out to me. Well, come join our Facebook group.
Yes, Facebook group, everyone.
The Cosmic Alchemy Listeners Facebook group. And well, I communicate, and I've been thinking about dropping in some channeling and stuff like that. So come join us.
Yeah, do it. And you guys can find me at Steve underscore untangled on Instagram. All my info is there, website and everything. If you want to contact me, it's the best way to go. And that's it. Podcast 4 done. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Erika. And we will see you guys all in the next one. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.